Okay, so today I'm going to create a dish using leftover chicken and some sad looking tomatoes that you would normally throw away, but I am going to demonstrate how we are going to make them work. So now I just took off the husk of the garlic and I'm going to just slice it, slightly crush it. Have a slice and then just press gently down. I have 1 tablespoon of oil in my pan. Just going to let that go in back and forth. Coat that nicely. And take half of the shallot. I'm just going to use a 1/3 cup, which is a smaller side of the shallot. That's the beautiful part about using shallot. The other side is that it's a more milder onion flavor. So in this dish, I'm going to take off that root. I don't need it. And I'm going to go up the vein. So I'm going to cut across. Just like so. And in this dish, I actually want the shallot to stay large circles because it's going to cook down. My pasta, water is boiling. Notice I'm just kind of flicking it in into a cold oil. So I'm going to make them translucent. And I also get a little of the flavor worked through gently. Okay. So we're going to just let that settle into the pan. Anytime that you have an issue with the sulfur that comes out of the onion, what I like to keep on hand is not a lot of tissues, but instead a spray bottle of vinegar. It's 2-part vinegar, 1 part water. And what I do with this is I spray it on a paper towel. And just allow that sulfur to die with that. The vinegar will get rid of all that sulfur that's in my face, diffuse it. Just breathe in that vinegar. Help with the onion. All right, so we have this starting to make a little noise, a little bit of garlic. This will be very loosely based off of turkey bolognese with your tomato, your celery, carrots. That's leftover macaroni shells from a macaroni and cheese box. We used half, but hey, I'm being real. All right, I'm gonna cut 1/2 inch for the celery. All the way up the celery. Okay, set that aside. Cut my carrot in thinner slices. I'm using rainbow carrots. I love these field rainbow carrots, mostly in the organic section of your grocery store. I'm cutting them thin, about a 1/4 inch thick, 1/8 to a 1/4, especially this thick one right here. I did arm exercises. I'm feeling it. Thank God for a sharp knife. Just putting that aside. Just making it a little tender. Turn on the temperature slightly. Medium heat. I'm going to add the celery in next. The celery has high amounts of sodium in it. It's going to be a beautiful flavor. Natural salt. A little oil. That's stir it in. Now, typically you would add your turkey here and you would have it, you would cook it down until you no longer would see the red. However, our chicken is cooked. So instead here, we're going to add our spices. And I'm going to get curry. With the curry, it's going to be a fourth. My cumin is going to be a fourth. And then I'm going to add a little bit of a dry Italian herb blend and press it into my fingers. So do a teaspoon of that. Mix this in. Now, from here, I'm going to add the carrot. The celery is getting nice and tender, getting lighter green. Beautiful vegetables. I'm going to calm it down just lightly with tomato juice. Didn't really calm it down, did it? I just needed to add a little bit of juice without adding more oil. Alright. And I don't want to add water to this. Now, from here, and actually, before I add my chicken, I am going to pop open a can of beer. I'm using a white ale. Three ounces. Now, let that cook in. I know, unconventional, but the alcohol does cook out. I'm going to cut my chicken at this point. I'm going to cut with the muscle fiber. I don't want to shred it. Just kind of cube it in a way. Right here. Just cube it in. And I'm using a half of a breast. It's just literally whatever was in the kitchen in the refrigerator. And that beer again, I'm going to put 2 more ounces in, just kind of coat, and then turn it up to a medium high. This is instead of using like a Chardonnay, I'm using a white ale. A lot of times people have light ales or ales in their pantry versus having a bottle of Chardonnay. You can also use an apple cider vinegar. Put this on a medium-high heat. Beautiful flavors coming through. While that is cooking, remove my chicken cutting board here. I'm going to dice my tomatoes up. My pasta, it looks about almost done. Notice my little tired tomatoes. Some are tired, some are not. On this, you want to make sure you're using a very sharp knife. So make sure you just cleanse it, dry the blade, dry the handle really good, sharpen it. Because this is when tomatoes will tell you if your knife is not sharp. They'll embarrass you sometimes. Like, you're just going to cut it in half. Okay? Cut it in half. Nice sharp knife, even though they're super wrinkly, absolutely just slide it through. Will help you maintain that tomato without embarrassing yourself in front of your whoever. But you will not make ketchup. I am going to get here. Oh, beautiful flavor. Smells delicious. Now I'm just going to drop this in and let that cook. Everything cook in. Beautiful, beautiful vegetables. Wonderful flavor. I'm going to take my pasta up and drain it. Let that be draining while I put this through. From here, I'm going to add 2 ounces of coconut milk. And let that cook down. Coconut milk is super healthy for you. It's awesome. I'm just going to let this cook down and let all the juices cook out. Basically coming to a boil. My last thing that I'm going to actually put on top is the Italian parsley. You can also put this dish over rice. You can add more coconut milk to it and a teaspoon of curry to it and add it over rice. Matter of fact, I can do that as well. So I'll show you the pasta version and then turn it over to the more with the curry and the rice. By chopping this, I'm opening it up. This is cooking down nicely. My vegetables are getting nice and soft. Not quite there. That's why we want to cook it down more. And it's also why I cut these real thin, because it's easier for them to become softer, faster. I'm waiting for the tomatoes to open up. So what will happen is the tomato will separate, the skin will separate from the flesh, as it's starting to do now. I'm going to add a Himalayan sea salt, adding it in my hand first so I can see how much, and then just distributing. I'll let this cook down for at least 5 minutes.